Koine Korner has hit the century mark. This is our 100th episode, and as such, we're going to let a centurion lead the way in our subject of the day. So we're going to talk about the crucifixion of Christ and the centurion who is sent to oversee the crucifixion and to supervise the soldiers who are carrying out the crucifixion. In the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, each have a statement made by the centurion right after the death of Christ. And let's just talk about the dynamic for a moment. The crucifixion, if you strip away Christian thought about the crucifixion, which seems strange, but if you strip it away and look at it as a historical event, this is the carrying out of an execution of criminals by a government. So the Romans, who are occupying Israel at the time and who are in charge there, condemn Jesus and two others to capital punishment, and they are to be executed publicly as a punishment for their crimes and as a deterrent for other crimes, for future crimes by others. This is to be conducted by soldiers and overseen by these soldiers to make sure that there's no interference, that no one goes and takes someone down from the cross, because it usually takes days to die on a cross, and to make sure that it is seen done through to the end. And that is exactly what we get in the accounts of the crucifixion of Christ. And the person in charge is a centurion, a Roman soldier who is a higher up in the organization, who is in command of 100 men. Century, 100, right? A century note is a $100 bill in America. Let's take a look at the term that describes a centurion in each of the three accounts, because it's slightly different in two of the three, and it's very different in Mark. So in Matthew, we have ho hekatontarchos, the leader of 100. So the archos at the end is leader, and then we get hecaton is the abbreviated form of 100. Then in Mark, we have ho kenturion, centurion, or the word that we normally expect. So this is a title derived from the practical reality of commanding 100. And then in Luke, we have the variant with the eta sigma instead of the omicron sigma, ho hekatontarches. So in each case, the person in charge is a centurion, a soldier in command of 100. Now, let's take a look at what each of the accounts says regarding this centurion. We're starting in Matthew 27, verse 54. All three readings will be from the ESV. When the centurion and those who were with him, keeping watch over Jesus, saw the earthquake and what took place, they were filled with awe and said, "Truly, this was the Son of God." Now, Mark 15:39, and when the centurion stood facing him, saw in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." Now, Luke 23:47, now when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God, saying, "Certainly this man was innocent." Now let's take a look at all three of the statements from the centurion in depth. First, we'll do Matthew and Mark together because what they say is almost identical. In fact, in the English translation, it is identical, but in Koine, there's a significant difference to notice. So, in Matthew 27:54, we have alethos theou huios ein hutos. So alethos is an adverb taken from the noun aletheia or aletheia, which is true or genuine. So here, because it's an adverb, it's truly. And by true, we mean expressing the sort of epistemological reality of a thing, the metaphysical reality of a thing. So truly, this man, we're told, was the Son of God. But this man is inverted in Matthew. So we have to go all the way to the end of the phrase and see that hutos. Hutos is a demonstrative pronoun being used here as a substantival. This man, then backing up a word, we get ein, which is the present indicative third person singular of a me. He, she, or it was. Then one more word back, son, huios, son, and then theou, the genitive of God, Son of God. So if we were to take this phrase literally, truly, of God, a son was this man. Truly, this man was the Son of God. But notice that Matthew's emphasis, the second word in the verse, getting a priority position, is the genitive, the modifier of huios, of son. It's God. Matthew's emphasis is on the Father in the relationship to this Son who just died on the cross. Now let's jump down to Mark. Alethos, just like the first one, right? Hutos, ho anthropos, huios theou ein. So here we get, again, truly, hutos, this man, but not just as a substantival, as a predicate. This man, ho anthropos, this man, huios, son, theou, of God, ein, was. Truly, this man was the Son of God. So it's translated the same way, but look at where the emphatic position changes. In Matthew, the emphasis is on God, and in Mark, the emphasis is on this man, being Jesus. So Matthew emphasizes the Father, Mark emphasizes the Son in the exact same phrase through the use of emphatic word order. The structuring of the phrase, the order of the words in the phrase changes the emphasis. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's take a look at Luke, because Luke is remarkably different from Matthew and Mark in his quote from the Centurion. Antos ho anthropos, hutos, dikaios ein. So in our previous two statements, we had alethos. We had an adverb for true or genuine, truly. But here we get a different adverb, antos, which comes from the participle form of a me, being, antos, or antone, being. Here we get antos, which is certainly, because it's talking about the essential being of a thing. Ontology, the study of being, the study of the essential reality of a thing. What is the essential reality of a thing? What is its true being, its genuine being? That's what this adverb is describing. Certainly, in essential being, ho anthropos hutos, this man, dikaios ein, just was. This man was just. Certainly, this man was just. Think about this. The centurion, we're told, seeing Jesus' death, praised God and then made this declaration. Certainly, this man was just. Now, just is a legal term. It's about your standing in regard to the law. Are you right in the eyes of the law and the lawgiver, or are you guilty of infraction, of transgression of the law? So this is an amazing statement in Luke. The centurion, who is the agent of the government on site, who is conducting the execution of criminals, who is supervising the execution of the law. The law is being carried out at his instruction by men under his command. And what does he say about one of the executed criminals? He says, genuinely, certainly, in his essential nature, this man is just, meaning not guilty. Well, that means the carrier out of the execution just says, what I did here today was a miscarriage of justice. Certainly, this man is not guilty, but I just executed him for a crime. That is a pretty profound statement. He sees what's happened and declares that the death of Jesus is for some other thing than his own guilt. He sees him as not guilty because everything that he sees in the circumstances surrounding this particular death, he doesn't say it about the other two guys. He says, makes me believe that this man was just as opposed to being guilty, and therefore died for reasons other than personal guilt. Pretty significant, especially if we go back to the theological reasons for the cross and think about a substitutionary death. The death of a sinless one in the place of sinners. This Roman centurion declares that it's certain to him, certainly, this man was just and died for reasons other than his own sinfulness. Spectacular, magnificent stuff. So in 3 of the 4 Gospels, the centurion in charge of the execution of Jesus sees the circumstances attendant to his death and makes 3 declarations, 2 of which say that he is the Son of God, the first emphasizing the Father, the first emphasizing the word God, the second emphasizing the word Son. This man is the Son of God. And then the third one declares that this was an execution of an innocent man. Certainly, this man was just and not guilty of any crime that would put him on that cross. Magnificent, fantastic stuff. The centurion's declaration is a great way for us to celebrate the 100th Koine Korner, and I hope that you found it interesting, and that if you found value in it, you will like and share and subscribe, and leave me some feedback in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for the 100th Word of the Week. And until then, Karis Kairene Humin, grace and peace to you.